Physical beauty, money and success is what life is all about, the real happiness. This is my slogan. I am Þjóðvitnir, running my blooming business. Smile blooming has a beautiful double meaning. I am clever. I am your idol, and material god, dubious, yes, but almighty. Gel fyrir dellingsdurum, chant at the doors of dellingur, abundance of stuff for the senses of all ignorant men. Hi. Fourth skræða Þjóðvitnir, Ullur Heimdallur. She skræður 38 and 40 on hljóð Heimdallar, the sound of Heimdallur, Gjallarhorn. I prefer the name of this skræða to be the best skræða Þjóðvitnir, Ullur Heimdallur. The best one and the thickest one, because everybody is my customer in this role, even if you might not admit, or simply do not know. The scholars do not know for sure anyway what mythical character I am. The scholars come up with all kinds of meanings of my name and my role in your life. My beloved unwise man-apes, my clients. Some suggestions like þjóð plus vitnir can mean the main wolf. I like that one. Ullur, wolf, is symbolic in Iceland like Ingólfur, Úlfur, a wolf, claimed to be the first settler, but that is faked, made up. That falsified history once more. His father was not Örn, Ingólfur Arnarsson, son of Örn. The year was not 874. Just see how brainwashed you are after reading school books. But this is true. Þýturð þund, unir þjóðvitnisfiskur flóði í. Árstraumur þykir of mikill valglaumi að baða. Og gel ég dvergur fyrir dellingsdurum. Gel aflásum, álfum frama, hyggju ropta tí. So I am no small thing, man. But nobody understands anyway. Perhaps einherjar, the enlightened ones only. In Óðsmál, I am in the role of luring Prajnaparada, the mistake of the intellect. That is when even the most intelligent men see the created world to be all there is. They think for sure, but have no idea from where their thoughts are derived. Born as humans, but know not how to nísa niður to Glaðheimar of consciousness. They do not know that in Glaðheimar is found the real happiness and bliss. They search for happiness in stuff, which is only quarks, gungnir, unstable vibrations. Nobody tells them to search and find in Glaðheimar, where that, which they search all their lives, is. Good for me, Ullur, that rascal, is always trying to spoil my business. He is held of pyromania. Pyros is fire, mania is madness. And Heimdallur is an empty vessel. Empty vessels always make a useless big noise. Note, in Icelandic, dallur, adjective, means bright, and also noun, a big container. Note also that the stupid Icelandic pronunciation of Ullur is Ullur, dallur is dallur. I know many things. I am very, very intelligent. My memory is super. I never lie unless I need to. Ullur is derived from Sanskrit ul, pronounced ul, fire. Stinks of smoke and burning, that stupid Ullur. Some claim dallur to mean bright, some simply see a big vessel. Then some unheard sound inherent, innate, hljóð, fólkið. Empty noise is what big vessels are known to produce, right? As I see it, this universe vessel is empty. The gap, Ginnungagap, is the great void. Anyway, few men ever try to find out by going there, so who cares? But dall, feminine of dallur, adjective, in the name of Freyja means bright. Sea, bright, ocean, shining, that means, what beauty. Nobody ever claimed dall to mean dalla. Noun, a little container, pronounced dall as dall, or dalla as dalla. Oh, these goddesses, I cannot stand their sheer beauty. I have no control over my feelings in their presence. Freyja and the Venus, Eros of Cupid shoots right into my heart. Oh, all my worldly powers evaporate, and I have no other powers. I am a mythical character, dvergur, a dwarf, who gelur afl frama og hyggju, that is chance, power, fame, and wits for Æsir, for Odin, and for elves. Here I am the role of Prajnaparta, the mystic of human intellect. Do not try to understand or enjoy Óðrerir and Þjóðvitnir, my sweet cute little bairns. They are stirring up characters. Beware of their stirring up your minds. I do not agree on bold writing these characters that do harm to my business, but that is the rule in this skræður, mythical stuff, bold Sanskrit transliteration in italics. Óðrærir, Þjóðrærir, stirring up, what stupid hobbies, man. How does any stirring white have guts for that? These mythical characters are all rubbish. That makes me sick. Even scholars get headache, and when they do not understand, they simply invent and make up. I, on the other hand, have both feet on the ground. My hobby is the 5 insatiable senses. I play well my role here in Óðsmál Norse. I know that the senses bring vibration to the unquenchably thirsty mind. My business secret, more stress, and straight into my vicious cycle. My target group is people like Gerður, as she is in the Edda poem Skírnismál in the beginning of the poem. She is not interested in Skírnir twaddling about 11 golden apples, Hrím, Thursar, evolution of man, stagnation on the evolutionary path, and such rubbish. Her only concern is gold vanity. Does not want a vana good into her life. Here she is beautiful Gerður the fair-armed maiden, while she still was mine. Note, paradisos means fenced in. She was perfectly happy enjoying gold inside her fence of paradise. Her 5 senses all out for vanity stuff, seeing nothing but the flickering gungnir in her all-material lifestyle. These guys like Krishna in Bhagavad Gita are not on my list over cuties who treasure material life only. He has perfect control over his senses. That is told by his pure white horses. Little Völva is boring when she talks endlessly about this symbolic language. Like Krishna's white horses symbolizing senses that are refined and pure, Krishna fully in control of what they bring to the mind to metabolize. All under control regarding Krishna, the dark blue. The cart is the body, Krishna the cart driver. Men are told that the Puran, Ginnungagap, should be the controller of man's life. Who on earth would understand? Not these unenlightened ones, at least, which of course is good for me and my schauspiel. Krishna does not allow his 5 senses take him anywhere, but my clients do. That is the whole business secret. My beloved clients run without control like untamed horses. Horses here symbolizing the 5 uncontrollable senses. I cut them like fish. They get hooked. A good business is run by marketing techniques and fierce advertising. I also have to see too that nobody becomes enlightened. It is a tool in the campaign to mock at the poems like Þrymskviða, point out that Loki and Thor became the most famous drag queens in the world. Tanngrissnir og tanngnjóstur skyndir að skökklum, the 2 rams hastily evoked for the Thunderwagon. Thor and Loki not ladylike at all. In Þrymuvagn, Thor wearing brúðarlín bridal dress, heading airborne to Þrymurþursadrottin to the wedding. This is so funny that people laugh their heads off. How did our forefathers really believe in this stupidity? How can this ignorance and primitive naivety really bear the name of religion? People are brainwashed by belief in the letter, no understanding, completely illiterate when it comes to our cultural heritage. I see all the gods and goddesses as people having sex and fighting. That suits me. In the role of Prajnaparta, human intellect makes mistakes. Endless supplies of useless vanity and glittering drinklets are backed up with glamorous ads. They all chase my sweets for the senses. The senses bring all the stuff they find to the insatiable mind. The senses love excitement, provoking. They are the best stress makers in the whole world. This most agreeable Prajnaparta is all about the mistake of man's intellect of not to contact Ginnungagap. People get detached from their own true origin and essence. The yellow bulb on the drawing is meant to place the intellect of the stupid one. They lose regla, order, live in rugl, disorder. This guy on the picture to the left is taken in by my junk. His horse grazing, perfect. I do not like the one on the yellow picture to the right. He uses Sleipnir human nervous system to go home to Ásgarður, to Glaðheimar, to Ægir, into Ginnungagap. I offer life's amusing park, exclusively for people who do not nísast niður. I offer supreme fun and complete darkness of gloom, depression and frustration. My business secret is, I shall tell you for fun, is that people do not see Ginnungagap. It is invisible, imperceptible. People claim only that which their senses perceive to be real, nothing else to be. They do not know that Gungnir and Ymir are but a schauspiel of vibrations. Take Gungnir for a weapon and see Ymir as a giant, which is fundamentalism. Either vellir are the ever-moving fields. The universe is all change and instability. The tríguna showed up, þursa meir þrír, and people live in the fireworks show. Who understands anyway? Tríguna showed up í árdaga early at the birth of the universe. But before that unskomu until came, only silence and dynamism, and the perfect orderliness prevailed. Teldu teitir, no worries, tune, dynamism. Many a man lives in my rodeo all his lifespan. How many know that there is anything else than my amusing park? People believe me and my perfect advertising propaganda because they have never learned anything but belief in the letter and fundamentalism. They love quarrels because they have lost connection to themselves, consciousness, Ginnungagap. They invent all worldly ideas to hold firm and dispute. Mine is best, yours is worthless, worldly tags and labels. My beloved fans and followers have in common not to seek the goddess sun, Gyðja. Their strong point is to defend the restricted views and ideas. They become blind believers in the letter, learn sentences by heart. That is fun. Then I become stirring up white GL chant, a stirred up rubbish soup for fools. My fiancé is Maya. This is a Sanskrit word, sounds beautiful to me. In ancient times it meant arts, know-how, superhuman abilities, changed meaning in the long run, now being that which seduces, mockery, what seems to be but is not. Maya, my beloved one, stands for what people claim to be real, their ignorance, not seeing reality, pure being, taking the pseudo-world for being real. That which people register with their senses, that is vibrations called material, actually is only Gungnir, vibrations, superstrings, quarks, flicker, glimmer. The 5 stuff detectors simply correlate to the 5 elements, höfuðskepnur. Mind makes a world, believes it to be real. That is why each world is as you are. People think their worlds. Maya is this firm idea of it being substantial and tangible stuff and ideas. The beautiful universe is only Gungnir. Ymir is only sound. The gods make mountains and seas from a sound. Bottom on green are animals. They do not yet possess human nervous system. Animals can only perform according to their inherent nature, which is okay. On top, Glaðheimar, Heimdallur, 1-on-1 peeps over my Maya. Those are becoming inherjar. Soon they will live Valhöll. In the middle of picture is my blooming business. Reiði means anger. Öfund, envy, ágirnd, avarice. Poor little Óðurhænir Lóður stand there like fools. What about the divine gifts? Óðurhænir Lóður give divine attributes to the so-called men. These people who cannot bear the name humans actually still on the animal stage. Act from the inherent nature only, not making use of their highly evolved brain and highly evolved human nervous system, Sleipnir. I, as Prajnaparata, keep Valhöll in total fog. On right, no fog, clear view. I do not promote what's not good for my business. Of vital importance to see to it that no one gets enlightened. The guy here on the top of the mountain, I don't know if you can see him, shouts to the others, I have reached the summit, come! But he doesn't tell them how. No technique for evolving is taught. Who sees the difference between a rooted plant and a cut-off plant? Then we can sell plastic flowers. I do not know how to wither away and decay. I tell people that fakes do the same job, only much less trouble to have plastics. To keep people in total darkness, very important. Invent pseudo-prophets. Have them shovel darkness in darkness. Tell people to carry burdens, that being what life is for exclusively. Diana, dá, dvínun, Icelandic, sóa sér, gyðjan sól, goddess sun. People are told that daily transcending so vast niðan niður rids them of burdens. Even said that nature starts working for the pure man. His actions will now be in accord with the laws of nature. Nature will see too that the pure man only makes right choices. I see this as propaganda in printing, and I term it new age rubbish now in fashion. I tell my people not to be so stupid as to get caught up in such fashion balloons. Luckily for me, some worship a prophet. Perhaps a real prophet, sometimes a pseudo-prophet, no big deal, which he is. People do not really understand what he is saying. They learn by heart the clausule and phrases, shout a lot. They are on the swear of intense feelings of what. The poker is topped by putting money into the game. Fear is sustained. Ugliness and danger are handy tools in that smart invention. A pecking order and power figures on the top. The black sheep on the bottom. Crude men whose nervous system is full of stress get deep scars easily. The refined men resile, bounce back quickly, easily, without emotional pain. Look, a mark on stone takes a long time to vanish. A stroke with a finger in water makes some waves that soon settle down. A stroke in the air will hardly be noticed. We transfer this onto people. The one crude as stone gets post-traumatic stress symptoms, remembers effects as severe, and it takes a long time to resile. The pure ones, like Einherjar, well protected against happenings, see occurrences as no big deal, bad or good, no problem. They cannot be easily shaken out of balance. They see the world as the play of Þrymskviða þrír, Tríguna, no actual concern of theirs. That irritates me. Einherjar, guarded against provocations and offences, or whatever comes their way. They leave coats of mail, brynjur, on the benches of bekkjum in Valhöll. I need people who keep on dancing with the Þrymskviða þrír, Tríguna, who rule the world. Merry guys, almighty nature's three qualities. They fuck up the peaceful harmony when Æsir fixed the laws of nature in the universe. All was fine with the happy gods on Iðavellir, uns, until Þrymskviða þrír show up. Satguna, pure and true, Sattva. Ratjaguna, quick, serving either of the two others, Rajas. Tamaguna, easy, wants to keep things without changes, Tamas. Few men realize that they three rule the world. Nobody sees them, men see only nature. But they three are in all things, all phenomena, even in humans. In different proportions, changing, but always all three together, Þrymskviða þrír. This is the unfathomable course of action, Bhagavad Gita. That uncertainty of results of actions drives people crazy. And I make use of that. Nothing is really predictable in field of actions. Sri Krishna claims in Bhagavad Gita the course of action to be unfathomable. Thousands of years later this was used by the Roman Empire as to be about their Dios, or God. Humans have their so-called free will, are responsible for their other free will in thoughts, actions, words. But density of actions is such a thicket that no one, apart from Verðandi, can trace their ways. That is why man's good or bad intentions can be turned upside down. The only sure thing is the law of karma, unequal skuld to any other deed. Other verðandi skuld, natural law, so and reap, says Jesus. I do not make an effort to meddle up with these boring laws of nature, but I use all this stuff in advertisements, make use of it. No stress actually, things mostly go smoothly all by themselves, thanks to people's blindness on reality. All good businessmen have their production and marketing secrets, besides all kinds of marketing problems and fuck-ups. I make use of the trends in the market to my benefits. If some tell about the pure eternal bliss in Glaðheimar, then I come up with some gladness for sale that is all fake bliss. When they advertise the real yoga transcending to nirvana, then I invent all kinds of concentration and contemplation methods that do the good job of tiring the brain and restrain the nervous system. Do not lead to transcendence is not that nicest neither into Ginnungagap. People waste time and pay a lot of money for fakes. Of course they do not come any purer, the contrary, even more stress accumulates. When people are taught to perform the real Valkyria leading to Diana, then I put on market rubber Valkyriur, that of course are of no blip use to transcend. I make money on it, and that is the main purpose. When people become Einherjar, which is enlightenment who live Valhöll, there is no way to lead them in temptation, offer glimmer and glittering stuff. They have that stupid smile on their faces, whatever comes their way. Their sole ambition is to teach others how to reach valor fully alive as soon as possible, preferably in this present lifespan. I gave it a try to hang on Vinkameður Edda poem Havamal, but I couldn't find any Fimbulrunir. It was simply stupid. Only thing I got out of it was headache. A good historian said, I am so busy living life that I have no time for contemplations on these so-called spiritual matters. This is a guide to my likings. This all worldly material life is so overwhelming and seducing that Ginnungagap is not even on the menu. Learn and live by my slogan, the first words in my amusing scribe. Physical beauty, money and success is what life is all about. The real happiness. My favorite art. I also offer goggles that are the tricky nature that people believe anything to be for real that the senses chase and bring. They are high fashion and always in. Really cool. I am a really amusing character. I tell amusing stories. Some my own, some stolen and retold. Some examples overleaf. Jesus invented the shower because Holy Mary asked him to stop walking on the water in the bathtub, rather go in and wash. He loves his mother so dearly that he invented the shower. These are showerheads from the year 0+. And when the Scotsman had his parents lick the lollipops without taking the paper off, as they would last longer. My stolen story about Scotsmen. 6 Scottish friends had drunk too much of the finest Scotch whiskey. Oh, it is so good. When up came a bet, he who first of them dies shall get 1 guinea from each of the others placed on his dead body in the coffin before it would be shut and closed and buried. The next morning this didn't sound funny at all. It kind of hung over them. When the first one died, it was even less funny. The 5 living showed up crying, mostly crying because of the stupid bet. Crying, they placed their guineas on the dead friend's belly. When it came to the last friend, he placed a check of 5 guineas in the coffin and took the bills for change. The crying of the others became more intense. Sad. Once Hermes, the Greek messenger for the gods, got lost. Foggy weather, badly oriented, running errands for Godzeus in a hurry. Wearing a radar and helicopter wings, holding a map, he put a foot on some tower. And thereafter they put all the Gabriels on towers as if they were dancing ballet. Once I became a monk in a monastery. No good that was, man. Not allowed to talk. How do you think it was for me to keep quiet? Not my line. The monks thought that their God would appreciate them if they starved their senses, so there was no business there. I simply gave up. When these Nisa Niður people advertised the apples of Eden as ambrosia and that Fimbulrún food supplements, I claim Eden and little Bragi to be silly little bairns childishly in love, and that these ever young apples have the simple effect that they become ever more and more immature. Even I claim to be the little red-hooded girl, going to Granny, and that she must look out for Geir and Fregi in the wood. Loki's okay, until he starts listening to Bragi. Hi, says Bragi. Meet of wisdom, Loki and Bragi. Bragi explains Kvasir, Són, Bon, and all that meat and Gunnlaugur rubbish. Loki is exhilarated, and then named Loftur, a kind of airborne. Kvasir, full of wisdom, bubbling full, intoxicating, until all the meat rubbish overflows. And here we have Gunnlaugur, the sweetest of all, her hospitality renowned, here in her Hnitbjörg. Note, hospitality is the part of the real meaning of her name. She invites humans to her cave. They only have to take on the guise of a worm, and slip through wormholes. That is simple physics, easily performed by anyone. Gunnlaugur Suttungsdóttir invites all Bölverk's worms to a sip of mead. Oh, she is so alluring and attractive and sexy. These thirst maidens drive me crazy. Don't look at me. Always the same thing. Here is how the scholars in Icelandic Department of University of Iceland picture Gunnlaugur. So they are obviously on the same base stage of evolution as me. Edda Poem Edition 1985, paid for by taxpayers' money to educate kids on the Norse ancient heritage, drawing by Johan Briem by request of Ólafur Briem. I am fond of that belief and the letter. Odin, in the feather guise of an eagle, could hardly fly home to Asgarður from Gunnlaugur due to too much drinking of the delicious mead. He just made it to Asgarður, knowing Suttungur as a hawk right behind him, madly chasing him. Most of the meat he spewed, the surplus going out from the other end, shared by the ignorant ones, skalt fíbla hlutur. Everybody takes the story as silly belief in the letter. Do not understand what mjöðurinn, the meat, is in reality. No understanding of anything. No wonder they never got a sip of the meat. I claim the eagle guys, Arnar Hamur, to have looked horrible and stinking. Vomiting and loose stools stink. Bragi is then used to write the whole story in an artistic way, have it contain all kinds of allegory and symbolic language such as Odin has conquered his own pride, that which all men have to do. In spite of that, the normal man sees here only a funny story, no deeper meaning. So what I call normal men, which is very good for me and my tricky stuff supply. Askur and Embla newborn are my best customers. They are born as men for the first time, mandris, not an evil thing at all, rather immature poor things. In spite of other Hænir Lóður bringing divine gifts, human attributes, little animals, confused like Adam and Eve, all of a sudden understanding right and wrong, a burden to be out of the animal stage of paradise, where animals act according to their inherent nature, no responsibility, no right from conscience. What a life, man! What a life in paradise, no concern whatever nature makes us do, oh man! Other Hænir Lóður, but what about our divine gifts to humans? Because these so-called human animals drag their animal states, paradisos, Skírnismál, into human life, cannot bear the name man in spite of their walking upright on two legs, gifted with their precious, highly evolved human nervous system, Sleipnir, dragging Skírnismál paradise into human life. I understand they do not. After millions of years spent as animals in paradise, not caring about right or wrong, living according to inherent nature of each species in fenced paradise, my customers do not realize yet that they are humans, have a choice, can reason and decide, and must take responsibility. Then I make use of my chance, offer endless supplies of stuff for the senses, of the immature ones, who chase everything that glitters and wiggles and waggles. As simple as that. Animals in fenced paradise, bottom green, deer is animal. Nibblungs and völsungs are nibble, fuck, and völs are phallic inclinations. Some Adam and Eve's just out of the garden of no responsibility. No right and wrong concern, nor such good choice problems. These so-called human beings are still in the animal states by habit, even if now being born attributed by a highly evolved human Sleipnir. The grey area on my drawing is my target group, Sver, Nibblar and Völsar. Look like humans, walk on two, can learn to read letters and write letters, do not realize that they are still animals, fenced in Skírnismál, paradisos. They cling on to their ego, make wrong choices all the time in their greed and pecking order habits. In the end, some slip out of my business territory, get enlightened, can now at last bear the name a man, human being. And these people, the yellow sun guy on the picture on page 34, are not my target group anymore, lost forever. Perhaps I should start on my path of evolution. Stop this monkey business. Who knows what happens in Skræða number 40? But until then, I shall have fun. Dvergur ég gel afl ásum frama álfum hrópta tí hyggju fyrir delling störum. The dwarf, me, I, chant power to Æsir, fame to elves, wisdom for Hroptatyr, Odin. What would this mean? Do I need to become enlightened to understand myself? When I am contemplating these so-called indigo burns, crystals burned, old evolved souls choose to be born into Satyuka. They do not understand my arts. They join in the Visa guys and go to the party in Glaðheimar. Stupid behavior. They do not buy my deception goggles. These birds are nowadays born in hordes into coming Satyuka. I see them as nuisance for me and my all-worldly schauspiel. I need to have people on low stages of evolution as long as possible. I try to convince them to see work and more work as priority in life. Work for money, buy lots and lots of stuff and vanity for their kids. And also they should have fun in the glittering, sparkling, dazzling junk. A bond in the fetters of material orientation. He who owns the most of all kinds of toys in the garage, when he dies, he is the winner. Make a comparison to others. See how others are making it in life. Inferiority complex and self-importance and necessary components for my marketing strategies. Egoism and jealousy, comparing to others, keeping up with Jones, is of vital importance to be felt constantly. I persistently urge their attention towards my matters. The field of created matter. So they'll have no time nor interest in valid land that kind of folly. Symbolic language like seed of memory is sometimes difficult to uproot, so I make use of that in my arts. I have to make sure that nobody remembers Mimir, smriti, memory. Because Mimir is that memory, smriti, deep inside man, but he is a human being, actually is ginnungagap. I am interested in allegories and symbolic language only if I can make use of it. These Óðsmál books seem to be far too concerned with understanding profoundly, but I shall secretly tell you all about my business secrets. I put some memory seeds in a bag, and when someone takes a leap from present life span to hell, he thinks he's got rid of everything. People do not understand hell. They have been thoroughly brainwashed with stories of hells and heavens, and all kinds of fundamentalisms like one lifespan, IV only. But the undertaking is not easy, my beloved clients. You can jump out of lifespan after lifespan after lifespan, not realizing that the seed of memory of actions live through hell. You are ignorant of the bag. Only urður verðandi skuld keep full record. My drawing to explain IV hell, 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 as long as the individual does not become enlightened. Such people return over and over again to my abundance of stuff supply. I also make use of the fact that the so-called matter field, a fake really, is full of opposites. Duality, uncertainty, unpredictability. Hot, cold, bad, good, sweet, sour. Full of worldly happinesses and drastic disappointment and sorrows when they go. This is how the unpredictable world is. But in Ginnungagap nothing of that kind exists. It is a unity, perfect balance, integrating. It is actually only the field of all possibilities. People who nísa niður, transcend, gradually learn to think from Ginnungagap. They rid themselves of triguna. That indicates trouble for my business. The world is full of tricky expressions and phenomena by which my beloved silly guy is really taken in, gets absorbed in. People love quarreling. That is fun. They are completely ignorant of the fact that they are in essence Ginnungagap. Mimir completely misunderstood smriti memory, the real memory, remembering that all is Ginnungagap and that nothing else is. People perceive Mimir as a funny guy in a well, no understanding. They do not know that Fenrir seeks foodstuff exactly where he finds these ignorant men. Perhaps I shall confide in you about my secret why I am melting the ice and snow on earth. So that Skadi and Ullur, who are under these and under Ás, these and Ás, God, swiftly traveling on skis, will be stuck in the mud, have to go by foot, walk, stuck in the mountain mud. Ullur is my sworn enemy. Skadi skírbrúður goða. Oh, bride of gods, so beautiful. She claims to be swiftly rowing in consciousness of man, whatever that means. Skadi has fallen in love with Baldur, indicating that she seeks enlightenment. Baldur occasionally visits hell. I cannot understand this rush to Valhall enlightenment. All fun and life is here, available for the unenlightened as well as the enlightened. I shall show you these boring guys, Ullur and Heimdallur in the night sky. See or believe, page 44. They can only be seen in the darkness. I know that the gods are total darkness as my clients see them. As the gods see it, my clients are totally lost in darkness. The name of this fourth scribe is Þjóðvitnir, Ullur, Heimdallur. I, the superb one, am playing the biggest part in your lives here in the world. So we have no space here for these obscure fellows, Ullur and Heimdallur. Well, Skræður 38 and 40 are about some fólkið hljóð, hidden sound. An Icelandic astronomer, Dr. PhD degree-holding scholar, claims the universe to have come into being out of nothing, and that philosophers have to explain how something can come out of nothing. A learned or so-called scientist doesn't know about silence and dynamism in Ginnungagap, and claims it to be nothing, the nothingness. But this is a guy of my liking. The case referred to philosophers who, poor blokes, cannot explain the Big Bang on basis of their faculties. Everybody is waiting, eagerly waiting for the scholars to explain. And I make good use of the time as your Pratnya Parada mistake of the intellect. I like these stupid scholars. They are of great importance and help. Perhaps, though, that Dr. John Hagelin, quantum physicist, is explaining the whole matter too bad for me. The sky deities and zodiac, as Einar Pálsson, an actor, reads out of Edda poem Skírnismál. Now something extremely funny that I'm going to tell you. The scholars in the university became madly jealous because Einar saw what they had not seen. Geocentric, Gea, or Ge in Greek is earth. Sky as seen from earth. Georg means he who tills the earth, a farmer. See also Stjarnvísi í Eddum by Björn Jónsson, a physical doctor in Manitoba, published by Skjaldborg. Ídalir, Ram, Mesha, Aries, first zodiac sign, Ullur. Himinbjörg, Vrishik, Scorpio, 8th zodiac sign, shit, Heimdallur. I figured it for you in one picture, 360 degrees. Heimdallur in Himalaya bergs, mountains, some say. Skjálf, as in valaskjálf, hlýðskjálf, is the same word as English shelf. Some claim Ullur and Tyr to be the same guð, deity. In order to keep my amusements going for my eager customers, I need to withhold the vicious cycle, explained on pages 47 to 49. Keep the Valkyria far away, lost somewhere the people cannot nísa niður. Do not reach Nirvana by TM practice, Transcendental Meditation Technique. Nirvana. Here we have my vicious cycle. The chap does not know how to nísa niður in Ginnungagap, cannot use the TM technique to transcend the sphere of thoughts. Let's begin at the top, 12 o'clock. Here we see someone extremely cheerful because of some success. He has no idea about the sprouting seeds, next step, 3 o'clock. But here I have a drawer full of seeds, unseen memory seeds, that are sprouting in his heart. Next time when that chap gets an idea, 6 o'clock, which he claims to be an original one, see yellow bulb, he does not realize that the seeds in his heart influence the new, brilliant, as he sees it, idea. Or even better, the seeds can be the real spark for it. The yellow bulb is meant to indicate a new idea, but as the fellow doesn't perceive the memory seeds, the less knowing that they, the seeds, control or govern the new idea, he simply goes into the task of performing according to the good idea. To the left, 9 o'clock, on both pictures on page 47 and 49. The decision to perform leads to an act, an action, which in turn yields a certain success. Results of the performed deed. On top, 12 o'clock, of which he is proud, or, of course, as can happen, gets disappointed, dissatisfied, not on picture on page 47, but on page 49. Then the seed of memory of that deed and the incentive or results thereof accumulates, is stuck, buried, hidden, but is there, 3 o'clock, not only during this current lifetime, but sleeps in hell as a nut, still that symbolic language. The seeds sprout in the next lifespan. Isn't that delightful? Note, bottom right, 6 o'clock on my vicious cycle, these doodles are meant to indicate lifespan after lifespan after lifespan. Where my vicious cycle works, hell is the lower part of the doodles. Same goes, of course, with the result of unwanted consequences as the good ones. All bad deeds, too, and their consequences are caught up in. Memory seeds of act and performance hide in the heart, sprout there, directly color or affect the chap's next idea. An idea that he claims to be original and good, but the sprouting seeds rule, dominate the new idea, behind the back, behind the conscious mind of the poor guy. On he goes to perform, act, in the self-deception that he is original and free. Or he believes himself to be thoroughly contemplating the new good plot. Implementation has consequences, who in turn saw new unseen seeds, that incentive thereof, who sprout in the heart without the man suspecting anything, knowing anything about it. Of course I am amused. I could even drool from mere excitement. This is my perfect vicious cycle. I am a genius. No wonder I am the one to gala hyggju, chant wisdom. I am superb. I am aware of that I use my talents for absolutely useless activities. But so what? Sometimes the goddesses start meddling up with my lousy business. Female and feminine creatures always have this tendency to rule over us. If they were not so irresistibly attractive and charming, they would break my nerves. If the chap in the vicious cycle becomes overexcited, too proud or angry, air tries to calm him down. I, on the contrary, keep him ever crazier. Sometimes, unfortunately, air sees through my lousy means. She wants me to go back to chanting good things, gala hyggju and frama and apl. Air insists that I quit my exciting business on the vanity supply. She scolds me for exciting the senses, who are the gateway to stress. Tells me to grow up a bit and realize that stress makes people ill. I feel like melted butter in the presence of Gideon. Goddesses, their irresistible beauty sucks all guts out of me. Oh. Air calls this condition normal, relaxed. I call it no use, but I soon recovered to get back to the fun of life. Why I melt all ice and snow on earth, I already told you. So that evil Ullur, skiing god, gets stuck in the mud. The reason for restricting his swift movements is he is a destroyer, that rascal. Ullur ruins my vicious cycle, my numero uno tool. I am desperately trying to invent a fire distinguisher for you, fire, an Ullur buster. Not succeeded so far. A, B, C fire types distinguishers are not apt for this divine fire finery. This is how Ullur, pyromaniac, sneaks into the lives of my customers. He roasts my seeds, burns my drawer too, just like Logi Yetur Troyið eats the wooden plate. No more any sprouting seeds in men's hearts. Now their ideas are pure, seeds of memory of past actions in earth, dead. On this picture we have Einherjar, the yellow fellows. They work for Mother Nature exclusively. Perform only good deeds, beautiful acts, useful actions, not for egoistic purposes, not for climbing up the stairs of fame and pride, not for self-pampering, not for self-importance, only for all men and the evolution of the whole world. They are not even proud of medals and cups they receive. See on top of picture of page 53. Make no fuss about anything. They let the wisdom vessels, Kvasir, Són, and Boðun, take all the glory, meat of the great wisdom. Vín Valföðurs, Óðins, that's Valföðurs wine. Kvasir's blood, blood of Kvasir. Einherjar live in the world, yet perceive it only as flickering gungnir, vibrations. They see themselves as consciousness, Ginnungagap, completely aloof from created things, that is the world in which they live. Einherjar see that they are consciousness and that nothing else is other than it. Well, some thought worlds, gungnir in Ginnungagap, out of which worlds are created. They claim each man to make his own world in his head, each world according to the thinker's purity or impurity. And these blessed men, blessed joke, living on their animal status in their beloved Skírnismál, encounter this destroying fire Ullur so embarrassing. Ullur burns the paradise, Skírnismál animal stage, which people have dragged along into human life so comfortably irresponsible. People now all of a sudden, for real, start seeing difference between right and wrong, and can now only be altruistic, do good only for all. I assume this to be what happens to Gerður in Skírnismál in the end. Reluctantly, she shows up in Barri to meet her divine part. She is going to give Nisanidr a try. I fear the result to be drastic. I like the first part of Skírnismál, while Gerður is still completely absorbed in worldly gold exclusively. She stubbornly says, "No thanks, do not want Freyr. No thank you, do not accept Eplin al-gullnu, golden apples. Vanir are boring." I do not like the end of the story in poem Skírnismál. Gerður to go to Lokfara Lunderbarri. This Nisanidr is fórna, let go of, individual consciousness into pure Ginnungagap. Then I lose Gerður out of my vicious cycle. I do see through Frey's cunning trap, how he lets Skírnir lure her into evolving. I feel like as if Freyr is stealing Gerður from me. He sends Skírnir, divine ray, on his horse, divine will, to tell these Armgeislandi, having fair arms, women on earth, that my glittering stuff is not the only thing worthwhile in life. They should find the innermost divine core and essence, evolve to perfection. I feel like poor Joseph cuckold in the desert. Freyr propagates Valhöll and Glaðheimar. He cunningly calls transcending for Barri, evergreen grove, because he is a green god of peace, fertility and vegetarian food. Freyr makes an effort to convince all men to become Einherjar, as then nature will spontaneously give abundance. That seems to be his promise according to his ads and propaganda. This is the end of the most amusing and informative skræða in the whole world. My customers are blind to the fact that they live their lives in me. See you, even if you don't see me. Gothrun Dimbla, my teacher Maharishi, Indian physicist, shows us how to find the knowledge and understanding. Teaches us the technique to Nisanidr, transcend. Best of thanks, Maharishi. Óðsmál websites and online, and Óðsmál books available on Amazon. Nísið niður, nemið upp fimbulrúnir. Transcend, gain fimbulrúns, skill in action in life. The TN technique is easiest and leads to transcending from the first dive. Transcendental meditation, hundreds of scientific research. All parents should gain the true understand why we choose to be born and live a lifespan. Know the purpose and goal of every human being. Our forefathers' profound wisdom, pure science of consciousness, new theories, the real meaning rediscovered. Symbolic language, allegory, abyss of meaning, etymology, profound understanding, the beauty of our forefathers' wisdom, and the literacy in the broader sense. I have to say the last word in my own scribe. I am attention sick, you know. I add some rubbish here because I want my private one-man show, scribe, to be the biggest, greatest scribe ever chanted. Bye-bye, sweethearts, my man. See you every day. Eat lots of sweets. See you, I am the best. Remember all your life the world's best advice from Þjóðvitnir. Physical beauty, money and success is what life is all about. The real happiness is found in junk. Adore me all the way to the coffin. Work all your life to fill the garage with toys and stuff. Kids' toys and toys for grown-ups. Live happily ever after in my cage of worthless paraphernalia. Trust your senses, they know what you need. Be camouflaged, you in your unseen fetters of material orientation. Brynhildur Valkyrja svefnforni stungin, stung by form of sleep. Stagnated because she acted against Odin and her true dharma. Headed straight into Prajna Parada, the mistake of the intellect. She lost contact to her own real self. At your service while Kali Yuga lasts.